was largely your fault as well, so maybe he could do something about that. But I do really like what DRX have put together yet again. One more time, it's magic damage in both of these solo lanes, and Pyosik being able to get around and augment these lanes with all of his physical damage is going to be very effective. And then Kingen stealing away all these Nars is going to be frightening.
Absolutely. This is going to be a fun one. I think we have more potential for action in game number 2, so that makes me a happy caster, of course. I think that DRX can take this game into their own hands and kind of blow it up after 1 or 2 items.
Certainly looks like that kind of composition, Valdez. Here we are onto the rift for game number 2. We're going to try and keep the energy up. You play PvE in World of Warcraft, you know? Basically the same thing. We're going to have a bit of a battle. You can see Pyosik actually biding his time. The Naro comes out. Boulder just misses straight up. And now Summit finds himself in absolutely the wrong position, but that's a great wallop to try and save him. But the flashes come in, and good night, Mr. Nar. Yeah.
You can steal some of those abilities after the kill.
All right, well, Kingen going to be dashing away here as Croco comes on forward, landing these undertows. Sulka going to turn up first, though, as Becca booking it in here, but Croho is able to get the kill first. Shockwave comes down. Pyosik also going to be collected, and that is 3 very swift kills. And Liv Sandbox will augment that with Shelly as well. Bit of a disaster for DRX.
Yeah, I don't know how they got themselves into that kind of a position, but it just looked... And a good read from Croco, saying I'm stronger here.
Yeah, very nicely done as Croco, underneath the turret, just carries an orb towards the Zoe and she dies.
Something for more sparkles, maybe you can try to run away. Not going to be the case as here's the engage onto Gnar.
Yep, chains are going to land there as Summit going to have his ultimate stolen one more time. Looks like Pyosik thinks this is his only real opportunity as Croco going to find the Graves. There is a blast cone, and he's going to utilize it, but now collateral damage on cooldown.
Okay, Voidseeker used, and Leo in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, there's the pole flash. And Leo's going to try and get out of there. Flashes, dashes, gale forces, and now Bao looking for the last couple of autos, and we'll grab it with the Q. So
Soka can't delay this by themselves. They will look to actually fight, though, it looks like.
Yeah, Fake getting exhausted, but he just waits it out. You can see Becca now with the ulti running is just going to die by the looks of things. Big ulti into the backline there from Summit as the shockwave lands only onto one. Solka's very, very dead. And this is looking like an absolute wash. Liv Sandbox have really come alive here in game number 2, and Pyosik well and truly dead. Croco is like, remember the Casper Cup? Remember when I was the best? Yeah, this is what it looks like.
And look for opportunities, but the rest of the team not really able to follow up on that.
Nope. And DRX are pushing here, but not too much more, as there's a headbutt pole. Becca once again just like wandering in by himself. It's not really what you want. There is a redemption here as Kingen gets his Gnar against the wall, but Summit may have to say that his is better and is going to be able to pick up something before he goes down. There's the flash out from the shockwave as Pyosik getting a lot of work done here. Leo trying to free hit as Solka goes golden as Samira just dies to the Olaf. Off screen, out of context. That was very strange, but still glad that the observers picked that one up. Still, I think it was a victory for Liv Sandbox.
In the bag, I don't think DRX have too many thoughts about how to play this one safely from behind. They say, let's go next. Very famous spot was going to be me. Shout out to the LCK Discord for that one. I extremely love that. But yeah, you know, trying to force this when you're down 7,000 gold, generally not advisable. Solka all alone here. Does get taken out at the end. They get a couple of kills. And here's actually how Bao died. Just walking through his jungle, thinks there's no vision, but there is absolutely vision. No flash, no heal, down 2 levels on the end. He just dies. In the bag, I don't think DRX has...
Yep, teleports in as we've got the abduct onto Croco. He's sitting on the Ragnarok though, so he shouldn't be in too much trouble. Yeah, Pulverized is going to be avoided. With that ulti, he does a lot of damage actually. They need to be scared. He's running away now. It's the 3-man shockwave. Fate turns it around. And I don't know why DRX are taking all these fights. They're trying to get to game 3 as fast as possible as Bao. Can he do Samira things? The answer is absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. He's way too far behind. Becca watched as the rest of his team died. That's the ace. That's going to be a Baron right on time.
that they're fighting again.
Yep, even more fighting is now Pyoshik going down extremely low. He's melee range with an Olaf, which is absolutely not what you want. Actually, follow flashes after the Graves. Once again, DRX members are disintegrating as Fate going to take a taxi towards killing Bao as Summit turns up, gets the Gnar into the wall. Good night, sweet prince.
And see if their push is strong enough, but with the minion wave coming in and still 4 members dead, looks like they will just end the game.
Yep, legendary Olaf here as well, cares not for your turrets. As Nexus turret number 2 goes down, there is the sad Zoe waving goodbye to a DRX that probably shouldn't have been fighting quite as much as they were in this game. Good night.
Take a good trade rather than full-on commit, but either way, you know, from there on out, that was really the only issue that we saw, and Olaf just barely does the most damage in the game.
Well,
So
that's
it was a challenge.
yeah, it's pretty indicative of a game that only lasts 20.
Leaf Sandbox was able to close out the game at 22-minute mark of the game, getting the fastest game of the split. But Leaf Sandbox locked in Gnar, and the answer from DRX was Silence, which had a huge success up against Gnar in the prior series. Looking at the draft, DRX banned out 3 of the mage champions in the jungle. So, which also ended up getting the first pick of the jungle, and also Leaf Sandbox had to blind pick the top lane champion. But in the end, I think Leaf Sandbox was not able to have a really bad game on the top side, but DRX was also able to play around the top side of the map really well. So the draft looked even for both teams. DRX knew how to utilize their comp, and LSB was also fighting back really well. But let's take a look at Zoe pick. This is a pick where requires that she needs early kills onto the enemies and needs a lot of support from the jungler. But in this game, Pyoshik was playing around Kingen, which means Zoe had to do her work by herself. And once again, we had a share between Graves and Olaf, and we had Samira coming out from DRX. Samira is a champion that has to dive onto the opponents, whereas Zoe pokes from a far range. So we want to say that DRX champions were having a great synergy. Rather, Aphelios could have been a good pick with Zoe in order to just kite back alongside with the Zoe. But the major mistake from DRX was actually how they fighted in this game. So let's take a look at some of the highlights where DRX got overextended or over-eager for fights. Prior to this highlight, well, Pyoshik and Kingen was able to get a kill on Gnar. So Pyoshik also had to commit his ultimate in order to escape from the enemy jungle, and also Silas committed really hard for the trade and he even used his ultimate. However, DRX somehow got overconfident that they were holding a huge priority on the top side of the map, so they started off this Herald. Because they thought that Gnar was super low, so he won't really come for this backup. But we also have to keep in mind that DRX players used their major skills prior to this fight, which means actually Leaf Sandbox had the agenda for this Herald fight. DRX actually thought that the play style of Leaf Sandbox is more passive, so they won't commit hard to contest this Herald, but at the same time, well, Leaf Sandbox was actually hungry for kills. Now let's take a look at the next team fight, where DRX once again didn't stop fighting. Just like the highlight we saw earlier, DRX got killed at the Kai'Sa prior to this fight, but then also they marched to the mid lane and tried to open the fight. But we have to also remember that everyone on the side of DRX, actually most of them used their flash for the Kai'Sa kill, which means Leaf Sandbox was in the priority for this upcoming team fight. Because they had a huge trade coming up happening in the bottom lane, this was the timing for them to reset and use their money actually, because getting some kills doesn't really immediately boost their power. But DRX they were actually got a little bit angry about the fact that Leaf Sandbox was getting overextended on the mid lane, but their decision was not that clear. Leaf Sandbox was sitting on the first place in the game time when they were winning games, but this time around they had the shortest game here in the LCK, and Kraka picks up the POG. 615 DPM, and also a massive work on this champion. This Olaf was a total monster in this game. And Kraka kind of proves that his Olaf was not a problem. And Kraka was actually 5 levels up in the last game. Which is not a fault from a player oneself. It is actually because of the things that happen around the team. So he was able to pay it back in this game and kind of showed the fans that he still got the power to outperform the counter piece. Moreover, Fate's Shockwave was also finding the enemies multiple times in this game. Kraka was able to pick up all the votes for this POG, which is solid performance of Olaf. Today, Zoe was not having a good day, and Oriana was actually popping up, so maybe we can look forward to a Oriana Udyr comp coming out from DRX, and let's see if Leaf Sandbox has any counter pick into Udyr. Now it's time to move on to the game number 6 and also game number 3 between DRX versus Leaf Sandbox, and the game number 6 of tonight.